The first thing they're looking for is the answer to the question posed, to all elements of the question posed. So make sure that you answer it. That's easy, theoretically. And the second thing they're looking for is what I call PAD, which is an acronym. The P stands for Provide a Window into the Real You. What makes you tick? What is important to you? What makes you excited to get up in the morning? That's the P. The A stands for Add Value to your application, to the stats, to the job history, to your test score, to your transcript. What's the context for your achievements? What's context for perhaps some weaknesses? That's the A. And the D is demonstrate your communications ability. Writing and communications are critical to managers and to leaders, and most business schools believe that they're producing the next generation of leaders. So show that you can communicate. There are 3 techniques I'd like to suggest to you. The first one is use specifics and details to distinguish yourself. So for example, are you an engineer like so many other engineers applying to business school? Or are you an environmental engineer specializing in clean tech in the energy industry? Are you a financial analyst, or are you a financial analyst specializing in healthcare? The details automatically distinguish you. 2, provide your own insights and lessons learned when describing events. So they're automatically unique to you, and just be careful not to be superficial. How have events influenced subsequent behavior? And what insight did you gain from a certain experience that I couldn't get just by reading your description of the experience? In other words, if you climbed Mount Everest, don't tell me it was difficult or that you figured out that you could overcome challenge. And 3, quantify impact as much as possible. Did you improve efficiency, or did you cut costs in your unit 10% by developing a new process that was later adopted by your company and saved the company millions of dollars? First one is competitive MBA stats. Competitive is defined by the context in which you're applying your target programs. You want to be able to show competitive GPA and GMAT, GRE scores, whichever it is, quantity of work experience. 2, you want qualitatively competitive work experience. You want to be able to show growth, you want to be able to show impact, you want to be able to show responsibility. 3, you want to be able to reveal demonstrated leadership potential. The best way to show the potential is to show that you've done it. It's demonstrated. 4, you want a clear MBA goal. What do you want to do? What industry do you want to do it in? And sometimes geographically, where do you want to do it? 5, you want to possess fit with the program that you're applying to. Fit means you identify with the school's values and you want to take advantage of the school's strength in recruiting and in its program. And finally, you want to be able to show community involvement, because even if you participated in your community in the past, schools believe you'll participate as a student and as an alum. There are 3 elements you should include in any discussion of your career goals. The first one is what you actually want to do. What function do you want to perform? And try and provide a fair degree of specificity. Don't say you want to do marketing. Say you want to do brand management or advertising or consumer goods marketing or analytical marketing, but give it some specificity. And secondly, what industry do you want to do this function in, whether it's finance or marketing or strategy? Do you want to do it in high tech? Do you want to do it in software? Do you want to do it in a startup or an established company? Let the reader know that you have the direction to specify both the function and the industry. The third element that you may want to include is geographic location. Obviously, emerging markets would tell you something about geography if that's what you're interested in. But it's optional, because for some people it's just not going to be that important. For some it's going to be a critical element. So use your judgment and let that be your guide. My answer very simply is of course you should. You should for the 3 following reasons. You've been trained to write business reports, academic papers, and technical papers. Those are objective and analytical pieces, frequently rather dry. They're not intended to engage or be interesting. Application essays, personal statements, and the like are much better when they're interesting. You want them to be read out of interest and not out of obligation or merely out of obligation. 2, we bring enormous experience in the MBA admissions process to your application and your application essays. unless you intend to go into MBA admissions consulting or MBA admissions as a career, you probably don't want to have that much experience with the MBA admissions process. And 3, writing benefits from editing. That's why professional writers all have professional editors. If they do, so should you.